Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome back to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever for a 4v4 high-level Setons match. Let's go ahead and get right into the gameplay with player introductions as we slow down the game just a little bit, as it's gonna be a banger. And we're gonna start with Team 1 up here in the north and end with Team 2 down here in the south. And this is the first time that we're gonna have great 1440p recording on this channel. Hope you all are enjoying. And let's start off with the rear guard position, a blue Cybran going first land at 1400 rating. He is none other than Gotchi Fingers. Then we of course can move over to the beach position with the green Cybran, matching his air slot brother at 1600 rating, going first land, and his name is Kotick. Then of course we can move to the middle with the purple Seraphim player going first land at 2200 rating. Quite the big boy indeed. It is none other than RoboGear. Then, of course, last but not least, for Team 1, we have a purple Cybran, 3 Cybran, and a Seraphim, and he is none other than the 1900 rated player by the name of Kuwal Kim. We're going to call him Kim. We got Kim over here. And then, of course, we can move on to Team 2 with the rear guard air position as our start, of course, 1500 rating. He is maroon, he has started first land, and his name is none other than Doquel. Then, of course, over to the east of them at the beach position, we have a bright red Cybran going first land at 2000 rating. It's none other than Finks, as I am still rusty, shaking off the rust from casting, so we're going to be a little bit weird with our words, but that's okay as we move on to the Yellow Aeon Best faction, going first land by the name of Swatoslav with 2100 rating to throw around this ring. Then last but not least for the entire game, we have a white Seraphim going first air. And he has 1600 rating, and he has a wonderful name. It is none other than my Emperor. And of course, we can go ahead and look at the map. It is a classic. We have this causeway here in the middle where we're expecting to see some form of movement between these players. We can already see that both of the beach players are moving towards the middle, and you may ask, why is this causeway so important? Well, when we zoom in right here, we can go ahead and pop this up. 11.6 thousand reclaim of the overall 13.7 on the map is right here. So these players really want to get in here. They really want to start soaking up all of that reclaim for their team so they can get higher level mexes. Those Tech 2 mexes, oh so important to scaling the economy. Of course, the other point of contention in the early game is of course these islands on both sides of the map. We're going to see some drops, and I'm expecting to see maybe a little bit of contestation as we have some high rated players in the beach slots, and maybe they can make something happen, but they are walking to the middle, which will slow down their chances of getting their own transport out. Now, of course, we are here, and we are here for the long haul. Let's go ahead and get the game speed back up to normal, and let me just tell you all, I am so sorry for being away for so long, and you all are so beautiful. The channel has continued to get relatively good support, and of course the other channel is going very well, but I haven't forgotten about you all. I am not giving up on the FAF content. This is more of a passion project, so it might slow down from time to time now, but of course it is a very, very cool game, and I still continue to support it to this day. Also, the Duelist is back. The Duelist has come back since I took my break, and of course you should check out his content. I will put a card right up here in the top right corner for you all to check out, and of course we can go ahead and see right here in the middle we have ourselves the two commanders of Swatoslav and RoboGear making their way here first, and let's see what patterns they're going for. It seems as though RoboGear, he's going for the safer reclaim first, and then he wants to start working his way out, whereas Swatoslav, he's doing something similar, but he is moving out towards the middle much faster. These Salem Wrecks, very important, 3,000 mass, give or take about 50 or 60, and that is going to be highly contested, and luckily right now, we're going to be seeing our man, the myth, the legend, Kodik is going to be getting out over here very early, and he should be able to get to these Salem wrecks pretty much before Swadoslav or RoboGear really have a chance to with how they're doing their reclaim. So overall, it's going to be pretty highly contested. It is a bit weird. Ever since this meta kind of came into being, the northern team has a slight advantage in the early game simply because if both of the beach players walk, the player that is in Kodik's slot can get to those Salems before they're reclaimed and really get a ton of value for himself. And I'm wondering, has anybody thought about changing it to make it 4 Salems and 2 on each side, given that this meta has arisen? I know that FAF players are against change, but I think that would be a healthy one for the game, or maybe just add 3 more Salems. I mean, everybody in Setons loves to be an eco whore, so maybe that would make it more interesting. Here in the early game, we have a bit of air stuff going on. Our first drop onto an island over here on the eastern side is coming out from Kim. And over on the western side, we have something very similar coming from RoboGear. No islands being denied. They're going to their rightful owners, and everything so far is looking pretty snazzy for these players. But now, as these 2 extra commanders start making their way into the middle, you gotta be a little bit worried for Swadoslav and RoboGear, especially RoboGear right now, eating some fervor shots, as Swadoslav and RoboGear are going to be fighting against Kodik and Finks as well, and we're going to have to see how volatile this gets. We already have artillery, we have these Zooies, we have, of course, these fervors coming out, the fervorous artillery of the T1 phase for the Aeon. Not a very good unit, but of course, it will do in a pinch. And these players, they're all getting the reclaim. Let's go ahead and check on those reclaim numbers. We have RoboGear out at the lead at 4.7 thousand reclaims. Swadoslav hot on his heels with 4.4 thousand. Kim over to 2.6 thousand. Kodik 2.3. Doquel just past 2.4 thousand. And 2.3 for Gotchi Fingers. Everybody but Finks has passed the 2,000 mark, so that is good to see for them. And as you can see, that's what I was talking about with the reclaim. Finks didn't really have any easy reclaim to grab, and now he's over here. He's trying to fight off this army out from RoboGear, but Kodik is hot on his trail, and they're fighting him down. He's down to 6,200 HP. RoboGear and Swadoslav are both relatively healthy, but Swadoslav really, really bad right here with his HP. That means both of the southern players in this game are low on HP, and they didn't even really win the reclaim wars, so that's going to be a really tough opener for these teams. And we're going to have to see if they can recover well. RoboGear now eating a ton of damage from Auroras. And the micro from Swadoslav, as to be expected from 2100, is very good. He's keeping his Auroras alive. Finks coming up on land trying to get rid of some of these Zooies. Swadoslav still trying to fight it out here, but he's starting to lose Auroras due to the RoboGear commander incursion towards them. But RoboGear still eating shots from those, and now the HP is even over here. Fink's going to be forced into the water with sub 1,000 HP. He may even die here if a lucky Zooey shot lands, but there's no real Zooey shot on the way. 300 HP as he sinks below the waves. 100 HP as a stray Zooey shot manages to hit him, and oh no! For the southern team, this is a disaster. The HP on the comm of Kodik has just meant that there's such a power vacuum now for this southern team. It's going to just force Swadoslav to run away. He's not going to be able to participate very succinctly or very well in this fight. And if a sneaky little submarine manages to come out in time, we could even see Finks getting ejected if things go particularly poorly. We now have a bomber coming out from Kim. I think this is our first bomber. Usually we see these a bit earlier, but let's go ahead and get a little bit of tracking on it. I know you all love to see that. His name is Happiness Alpha Wolf 666. And let's see exactly how Happiness Alpha Wolf does as the match continues to ramp up and heat up. And of course, as we look at the minimap, we have another drop coming out from my Emperor. Seems as though he wants to put some engineers in the water over here, or maybe that's an aggressive drop. We can in fact zoom in. Nope, that's a full Zooey drop, and that seems to be heading towards RoboGear. If that does land on RoboGear's base, that will be very, very brutal. In fact, I'm gonna resize this minimap a little bit so we can have a better look at it. And out comes this bomber. It's gonna be able to get some engineer kills for sure, especially if it lands on this middle engineer right here, but it's already getting shot at by a frigate Down come the bombs, and that's going to be 2 engineers picked up already for Alpha Wolf's bomber here. That's going to be a very, very nice little play out from it right now. An interceptor is already locked on, and down goes the bomber. But now there is a torpedo, a submarine on top of Finks' comm. He has over 1,000 HP, and he's, of course, Cybran, so regenerating 18 HP a second. He needs to get out of the water, but that might be a little bit risky. Could see a few bombers come out and try and deal with him. Gonna have to keep an eye on that Commander of Finks. It's just so low that at any given time we could see an ejection here. He's trying to run away from that submarine. That submarine now whittling down his HP. He's about to be below 1,000 yet again in this match, and he has to be very worried about Happy Snake showing up over here and dealing some really deadly damage onto him. 900 HP and falling quick. Does have the frigate show up, but that frigate can't do anything up against the likes of a submarine. And even so, there's a bomber that can just sit and wait here, and if he gets it low enough, if he gets it down to 100 HP before Finks can get out of the water, that could be huge. He's ground firing, doing everything in his power to try and save this commander, but no, I don't think he's going to be able to. I think the submarine will just get him barely before he gets out, and even if it doesn't, he can always surface the submarine and fire its little gun. I think this submarine has a gun. I'm pretty sure the sliver has a gun. And that transport dropping engineers, bombs come down, and down he goes! Oh no, it's a disaster! One of the highest rated players for the Southern team, Finks, goes down. His base most likely inherited by Swadoslav. And maybe Swadoslav can make something happen down here with the double economy, but it's going to be very hard to go up against the pressure here in the middle. As, of course, 2 commanders here. T2 on the way for RoboGear. He's looking to get aggressive and maybe throw down some very forward PD. He has a few less units, but Swadoslav has these Auroras, which he's going to have to micro quite heavily. And with T2 done on RoboGear, nothing else really started up. Lots of chatting going on. Can't really keep track of that right now. As over here to the north, we have a bit of air fight going on, and it's going to go very, very well for Kodak. Kodak going to get the interceptor lead in this match right now. And gun speed and range now on the way for RoboGear. He wants to get aggressive. He wants to fight. But there's also this reclaim field of T1 units right here, and we have to keep an eye on that. 1.5 thousand, and it's mostly just right here in Swadoslav's territory. So if he can get these engineers out here to get reclaiming really well, he'll be doing well for himself. He's up to T2. He's already got himself a couple of Oblivion point defenses, which will help with stopping RoboGear from just coming onto land and dealing a bunch of damage. He also has, of course, the Serpentine T2 tactical missile launcher. He's going to be trying to get some damage down onto his opponent. I wonder what the range on that is, and in fact, let's just go ahead and check that. He can hit these 4 or 3 mexes here on the front, but he already knows that this one's T2, so he can get at least 1 valuable shot off here before anything can really stop it. And that's going to be very valuable. Needs to fire that first missile, needs to fire it now before RoboGear catches on and just comes up and overcharges that little Serpentine. Or maybe he's waiting for RoboGear to overstep a little bit and just so he can throw out a tactical missile at the commander, try and get some value in that regard. Over here in the north, a bit of naval fighting going on. Doesn't seem like anybody's going to get a huge advantage, but Kodak has so many more units in the water right now. I mean, let's just go ahead and check. He, of course, has about 3,000 mass worth of units in the water right now, whereas my Emperor is only up to 1.7 thousand mass, so he has a double the units of his opponent. In the southern pond, it's kind of the same. The beach player is doing a little bit better. Of course, Swadoslav taking that over, having the double economy is going to help him out quite a little bit with that. And now this Serpentine is yet to fire. Would really... Oh, wait, no, it has fired, and it's managed to kill off that T2 mechs, getting up 900 mass worth of kill right there for himself. That's just going to be a constant thing. But now that TMD is coming online, it's going to be a much less threatening tool in Swadoslav's repertoire of weaponry. We now have T3 air achieved for both the Quell and for Gotchi Fingers. No real early bomber coming out from either side, and very even ASF numbers. A 2 ASF lead right now for Gotchi Fingers, but he hasn't gone for that bomber. He hasn't gone for any aggressive play, respecting the other side to get their own T3 up in a timely manner. And we now have a drop of Zooies over here, and it's going to drop the full payload, and these Zooies, they're going to go to work. These are going to be 3 very dead T2 mechs, one of which didn't even finish upgrading. That's going to be very painful. And now these Zooies are going to rain down terror upon these other T2 mexes here. That's going to be very painful for Kotick as he loses that heavy investment into mass generation before it really even pays for itself. And very nice drop coming out from Emperor. Keep an eye on him. Tactical missile now on the way for RoboGear. Didn't even really, he popped up and threw a few shots out, but I guess he realized the shield, the 3 PD, all of these units, just a little bit too much for him. So he's going to go for tactical missile. We're going to have to see if he can manage to make anything happen. T2 has been achieved, and there is a T2 engineer out on the field. Would love to see some TMD coming up very soon. You've used it against your opponent, and you know he's a Seraphim commander. He can have that upgrade. It's the Icy Nightmare special. Getting those tactical missile launchers, or I guess now is maybe the Willow Wispy special, as he had that amazing game over on Guile's channel. Now, of course, RoboGear, he's got that tactical missile launcher on board. He's already building the very first one. Does he have the economy for it is the question. He has 68 mass a second. As long as he's not expending too much back at home, should be just fine, and maybe you can get a little bit of reclaim to help with that. And now that is going to be quite a little play here. Seraphim tactical missile launcher on that commander is going to be very powerful. A shield now going up. No, that's a T2 Pigeon. Oh no! He needs to go ahead and fire that first missile once it's done loading. It's loaded. Fire it, RoboGear. Show me what you can do with that missile as you launch it. Launch it for me. Give me the cool shot. The Navy's, both sides relatively even. Kotick still holds a massive lead in that Northern Navy. And up goes the missile. Gonna have to see where it lands. What he's going for. Maybe he's going for that T2 power generator, but now that there's 2 online, it's not going to be too terribly worth it. And we're going to hope to see him get that second missile launching quickly, and he does. He already has the second missile in the air. He's almost guaranteed going to be able to get up a... Ooh, no, it hits the engineer. Oh, that's a disaster right there. Even if it hit the mechs, though, it wouldn't have been able to kill it. But the TMD is going to go up and online very soon, and it's going to be able to stop the missile. And that's a very costly investment out from RoboGear that's going to result in pretty much nothing, as Swadoslav getting T3 mexes like a madman. Let's go ahead and check on the economies. 199 mass per second for Swadoslav. Of course, have to take into account that he has 2 bases. And then, of course, 202 for Doquel. Doquel ecoing like a madman, out-ecoing the double base player and everybody on the enemy team. My Emperor also out-ecoing everybody on the enemy team. So this Southern team has ecoed very well, but right now I'm a little bit worried about them. They don't have really the mass unit that I think they might need for this situation, as Kotick is starting to look a little bit scary up here, and especially if he can transition into T2 here soon and get himself set up with a couple of destroyers, could very easily start trying to pressure my Emperor. On the southern side, the Navy is looking a lot better for this southern team, but of course now we have some submarines trying to force RoboGear out of the water. A T2 Mex does end up going down there to RoboGear's tactical missile launcher play, and he also managed to get 2 of them up here. So he's gotten quite a little bit of value there, up to 4 ranks of veterancy, 6.8 thousand mass killed. Of course, had a little bit of that just from shooting units with his gun, but now having to be forced out of this pond. Could always try and do the sneaky play of going over to the other body of water, coming over here and trying to attack maybe towards my Emperor, who hasn't seemed to respond with any TMD of his own just yet. But maybe he's just waiting for RoboGear to show a reason to. We now have T3 Navy already finished up for Kim, and Kim kind of been silently sitting over here, already up to a battleship. Happy Molotov over here, or maybe it's supposed to be Molotov, but they hit W instead of V. And RoboGear now going to start trying to get out of the water. I don't know how well that's going to work for him. And I just heard a Discord notification. I hope that maybe that was just in my mind. Hopefully nobody's messaging me over there. And of course, this battleship, it's going to get a lot of value here, but it's not really that great at dealing with frigates or auroras. Such slow fire rate. I mean, this is just starting to look like a really bad situation over here for the Purple Cybran. I mean, yeah, you got the battleship, but is it really going to deal with aurora and frigate spam? No, it's not. They'll slowly but surely kill off frigates one at a time, but The Auroras in particular are going to eat up all of its targeting. You're going to be able to get a lot of shots down onto that battleship. It is going to be able to run away here, but it's much slower than all these units, except for the Auroras. So that's going to go relatively poorly for him. Some shots going down on towards RoboGear. Hasn't fired another missile in a while. I think his only play for getting missiles off is to get over here into this water and fire towards my Emperor, but maybe he feels he's gotten enough value out of it to not worry about getting more missile launches off here in the mid-game. Overall economies, they're still skyrocketing up. And of course, we're seeing Doquel in the lead. My Emperor right behind him. Swadoslav, despite double base, is the poorest player on his team, but still much richer than almost everybody on the enemy team. I think he's in a power stall right now, though. That's really going to hurt his economy in the short term. Still has these T2 P-Gens, but needs to build up more, trying to get his own battleship. Can't really afford the power bill on that, though. Needs some overflow from his teammates, and he's just not getting it. That's going to slow down everything in his base quite a little bit. T3 now on the way for Gotchi Fingers. T3 done for Kodik. And Kodik, he had a very sizable lead in this navy. He's up to 33 frigates, which is 8,200 mass, but my Emperor, 1,100 mass. He has 11 submarines, which means that any major fight, he just wins due to having the submarines. And he's already up to T2 Navy, about to pump out his very first destroyer. On the other side, T2 Navy is done. First destroyer about to finish up as well for Kodik. And we now have another drop. My Emperor really focusing on this. He's just getting reclaimed, though. I thought maybe he was going for something spicier. Everybody up there near or above 200 mass a second. Swadoslav finally fixes his power, and he's up to 284. Very close to 300 mass a second. And, of course, 300 mass a second already passed by Doquel. Over here on the southern side, these battleships starting to produce major issue. First battleship for Swadoslav about to finish up. It's 2-on-1. He's going to have to really play his cards right here if he doesn't want to get knocked out of the water. Even Barracuda starting to show up for Kim. Huge air fight taking place over here in the middle of the map, and it seems as though Doquel just wins it outright. He caught the tail end of that. But now Doquel, having a sizable air advantage, might want to see him start throwing out torpedo bombers, and he has already switched over to them. He's gonna need to help out Swadoslav, or maybe he can try and get a decisive fight. Huge naval battle going on right here in the Northern Navy. And we can see that apparently my Emperor wants to fall back here. That destroyer making a huge difference, but now with all of these submarines here, these frigates are going to start going down relatively quickly. The fight was near Kodik's area, so we're going to see a very large reclaim field start to pop up here. 11,000, even if we just look at the naval reclaim, which some of it is still falling, up to 5,000. And that reclaim is going to be very big, but now with the air advantage, those torpedo bombers not going to be able to do anything, and waves of torpedo bombers now coming out from Doquel. He's going to try and shut down Kodik's small victory here. And I'd like to see these engineers over here start throwing up naval factories to contest the reclaim with his own T1 engineer spam out for my Emperor. Down here in the south, of course, we're going to be seeing Kim trying to get aggressive, trying to push in, but now it's 2-on-2 as far as battleships go. Battleship in the middle, though, is going to be able to take down a T3 mech. That's going to be a brutal blow down on towards Swadoslav. And the other T3 mechs is not guarded by this shield, so that battleship can continue to fire, and it has a whole bunch of hover flak coming out from RoboGear, playing like a teammate. He's even gotten into the Navy over here on this side. He wants to shut down Swadoslav. He wants Swadoslav to feel pain as more shells fly in towards that T3 mechs. It's almost guaranteed to go down And oh no, it's a disaster. That's so painful to watch. He built the shield, but the Aeon shield just not quite big enough, and he is kind of struggling here. He looks like he's falling apart. Maybe doesn't have the APM to really put up with Robo Gear, and of course Kim's combined efforts towards him. And everything right now is looking peachy for the northern team in the south, but in the north, the southern team is just so dominant, pushing Kodak back to his naval factories, getting his own naval factories up. And yes, this is most likely just for what I was saying earlier. Get up, engineers, get into the reclaim field yourself. You have to fight for it, and he has to continue fighting here as long as he can to just try and get those engineers into the reclaim field. He is doing very well, but needs to be careful not to overcommit and not to lose everything here. That could be quite dangerous. Spamming out those T2 units very quickly. See that destroyer just percentage going up so quick with all the assistance from those T1 engineers. Now over here in the south, the battleship wars have started, and it's going relatively poorly for Swadoslav, but he's going to have another battleship, so now it's going to be 3-on-2. The next battleship out for him. I mean, he doesn't even have another one coming up for a couple more units, so he's going to be a little bit behind on battleship count. Needs to keep that in mind. Also, these Barracudas coming out from Swadoslav have kind of wiped the field of all of the frigates, and that's really going to help him out. He'll be able to stick those on top of the battleships. It'll be a slow process, but they will deal a lot of damage to the battleships very, very soon. Overall air numbers, let's go ahead and check on these ASF-74 currently for Gotchi Fingers, whereas Doquel sitting on 93 still has a lead despite all of the spam of torpedo bombers. He is doing very, very well in this rearguard air position for his team, and overall up to 430 mass a second. Despite throwing so much into trying to help his team out, he is still massively ahead on air, and he even has an air escort for all of these drops coming out from my Emperor, who just loves to drop these Zoos all around the map. And now this is going to wreak havoc, and I dare say it's a disaster here with all of these Zoos landing. I just don't see what the quick solution is here. This T3 mech's guaranteed going to go down. Just a couple of volleys, really, and that T3 mech's is toast. And there's even more mechs. There's some T3s up here, but he's going to just push in toward this side. T1 bombers coming out to deal with the Zoos, but it's a lot of Zoos to deal with, so they're going to have a lot of time. We now have some gunships coming in. Those will do a little bit of a better job, but you can at least get one more T3 mechs, and if he can, that will be a very valuable investment of those transports of these Zoos. It's going to take a little bit. The ASF Cloud out from Doquel showing up to really help out his ally here with this drop, forcing Mech Marines to be the only thing, or I guess they're hunters, to be able to deal with this, but that's just not enough. T1 bombers still here. Another T3 mech's going down. If Emperor is particularly lucky, can get these Zoos out over here to this last T3 mechs and deal with it. And I'm going to zoom out and look at everything else on the map. The naval fight in the south is still stagnant, so we'll check this out again. Another huge air fight in Doquel. He is just on top of the air micro and shuts down all of this. And there's still 4 Zoos left, but these hunters, these bombers will be able to very easily clean this up. So only 2 T3 mechs is, I know, such a shame, but of course going to go well. All of these factories coming up on the front lines. We're going to have a lot of engineers coming out, but we're also going to just see so many frigates coming out very soon. We now have Robo Gear getting into gear, pun intended, and throwing a ton of Zoos over here trying to help out Kodak, who is just getting pummeled. And Swadoslav, he's starting to push back. He's starting to gain territory. He is starting to get what he needs done here in this Southern Navy. And right now, this Northern team, it looks like they're falling apart. They're behind on Eco, and they're no longer even winning this Southern Pond as decisively as they were. And a lot of it can be put down towards Doquel, but my Emperor and Swadoslav are doing amazingly at just shutting down everything the enemy team wants to do, and I'm very impressed by their play this game. Gotchi Fingers really needs to get on top of air if he wants his team to have any kind of chance. Throwing out a bunch of Russian numbers and name and letters. I mean, I guess the numbers are Arabic, but you know, whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and take a drink of water, everybody. Make sure you stay hydrated if you're watching at home, and we're just going to get in here and get a nice little shot of the action as all of the fighting goes on. Those torpedo bombers coming in, focusing down the destroyers, getting a lot of value for my Emperor in this northern side, and making things very, very good for him. Now, of course, the production, you start losing factories and then it's all over. And honestly, for Kotick, this was all over a little bit ago. These destroyers out from the Seraphim very good at dealing with this hover spam. And he just doesn't have anything here to stop this. He's starting to throw up arms. That's his last-ditch effort to try and make something happen. Is it that the comm has T3 and has torpedo, so he can continue to try and make something happen here, but he's just in such a rough position and constantly losing eco throughout the game due to those drops. Just not a good situation for him. And now in the southern side, these Barracudas out from Swadoslav just getting so much value. Some of them even managing to get veterancy as they just continue to push back. The units out from Kim, he can't get his frigates involved. Otherwise they just die to the Barracudas, so he's having to fall back. Might want to get some of his own. He does have a few kicking around, but not nearly as many as Swadoslav. And of course, over here in the northern pond, it's just all Emperor all day long. He's now over here shutting down this. He has destroyers and cruisers over here to start throwing shots in towards all of these T3 mexes. And oh no, it's a disaster for Kotick as he loses another T3 mechs. He just cannot keep his economy online. He's just constantly having to rebuild all these mexes, and now I think he's going to start losing some of these permanently. And he goes down! That may have been a Control K. I don't think there was anything in the area that could have just killed him. It was either a Control K or the torpedo bombers out from Doquel that killed him. But I don't think they would have gone in for through all these SAMs. So now RoboGear sitting on double base. It's brought him up to 493 mass a second. But what can he make happen with it? He's just losing this Navy unequivocally. I don't know if that's the right word, but hey, we'll go with it. And he's in a rough spot. He was trying to help out his ally Kim, but now he's like, man, I can't do that. I mean, in fact, I'd like to see him just throw all of these units over to Kim and say, hey, you got the micro on that side. I have to focus everything on this northern pond. But even then, with all of the support coming out from Doquel, you would think this northern side is just doomed. 163 ASF for him. Gotchi fingers at 177. He has the ASF lead, but would he even win a fight? I mean, definitely over these SAMs he would. But the T2 HQ going down to these torpedo bombers would be a nightmare for RoboGear, and in fact it's just going to go down to the Navy pushing in now, and that is going to spell the end of all the naval aspirations of the northern team in this northern pond. Their only hope is to win the southern pond, which they might still be able to do, but it just isn't looking good over here. And you know, the second that this northern area is fully pushed out, fully destroyed, that you're going to see all of this air pressure out from Doquel showing up here in the south, and you even have torpedo bombers coming out from Swadoslav just trying to do damage. Barracuda still getting value, still pushing back against Kim. And Kim just seems a little bit lost in this game, doesn't seem to know how he wants to approach Swadoslav's composition. And this Navy over here all but destroyed. It's gonna fall apart here in the next few seconds. And now we're looking at a game where this southern team is so massively far ahead. And the northern team, the onus is on them. They have to provide a question to the southern team that cannot be easily answered. And I think that might lay with air. If they can get air control, they can really start to do some nasty things to this southern team. And we now have 3 drops coming in from my Emperor. This time focusing on RoboGear's main base. Have some flak trying to be thrown up, but I don't think that's going to be too successful here. Actually, no, that's T1 PD maybe. But now the air coming in. But Gotchi, he has the numbers. I think he could have taken that fight pretty convincingly. I think he's just a little bit scared of what Doquel has to offer here. Doquel has built an Awasa Overall ASF numbers, 228 versus Gotchi Finger sitting on 289. He has such an air advantage. Building that Iwasa has given away all of his air advantage right now. The fight still could go the way of Doquel, but it's going to be less likely with the higher numbers on Gotchi's side. I'll have to fight over some AA to make it even. Iwasa now coming out. Gonna want to try and get some damage done. A lot of these mechs is now going down. RoboGear throwing up as many Gunthers as he can in as short a time as he can. He wants to force back this Navy. Maybe if he gets enough he can. Trying to throw out Zuis just to occupy the Navy's time. And now the Iwasa is coming in. He's going to try and drop a bomb onto the main base of RoboGear. And I have a feeling we got an air fight coming in here. Iwasa drops its bomb. Kills off mostly TMD. And Shield eating a lot of the damage. And Gotchi, I think he's going to feel forced to come in here for an air fight. And the fight going to be dragged out over the ocean. And Gotchi comes in, all of those black ASF of his Cyber Nation going up against the red ASF of Doquel. And you can just see immediately Doquel loses so many numbers. Sure, he cuts down on the numbers of Gotchi, but his fight is a complete sweep for Gotchi. And this is what his team needed. He needed to get air control for his team, and now he has done so. And now their team needs to abuse air as quickly as possible. I think fighting for naval control is not the play here. You either fight to win the Southern Navy or you start going for some form of economy damage down towards this Southern team. Of course, these players are all better than me, so maybe they have a better idea, but that's just how I see it. And that's not good. He built a wave of torpedo bombers. Well, those are just going to be immediately deleted from the game. The only kind of solace here is all of that reclaim went over to the Southern team because this reclaim field is just completely in the control of my Emperor. And the Iwasa manages to sneak into the base, but its bomb, I think, hit an ASF. Oh no, it's a disaster. Will he be able to get another bomb off? That Iwasa losing HP rapidly. In comes the bomb. Down goes the Iwasa, and oh no! A large section of the air grid for Gotchi going down, which may just get rid of the air advantage he just built for himself. Did the HQ go down is the critical question. And I think it did. Unless I'm a little bit blind, I'm not seeing the HQ anywhere. He's gonna have to rebuild that HQ, and he's gonna need to do it quick. Now over here to the east. The Navy for Kim is looking very sparse. He's got a lot of battleships. In fact, I think he has more than Swadoslav, but battleships alone don't really win Navy unless you're getting up to like 20, 30 of them. He's not quite there yet. And it's not like Swadoslav doesn't have a sizable number of his own. A bit of a land incursion trying to be made by my Emperor. It's going to be shut down by the mix of Gunthers and Hunters. I know, I rhymed. Very good. But yeah, it's going to be hard for Doquel to get back into the air game. He's at 108 ASF. He's built those very quickly. 230. I'm sure he has to rebuild the air HQ unless I'm blind and missing it, but he's already about to be done with that. So that should be just fine. In fact, may even want to just build up a second one, if we're completely honest. But he has to rebuild that power grid, and that's going to be really painful. He may even be in a bit. Yeah, he's going to be struggling to afford to produce those air units, but he has such an advantage. It's going to take a little bit to just build the ASF to catch up for Doquel, so he has time to get back into this. Now Kim, currently dealing with torpedo bombers and just has nothing to deal with it. He has his own cruisers, but trying to push back Swatoslav. Swatoslav, I think, pretty happy to just hold the line and let his air and other Navy player do as much damage as possible. As long as he's not losing, his team is winning on the other sides. And the Gunther spam out from RoboGear, kind of ridiculous, 27 and counting. It's kind of made this cove just uninhabitable for enemy naval units. But with mass aircraft carrier now coming out for my Emperor, I'd love to see him just post them up over here in kind of a line, can create a containment zone, and then from there just mass produce ASF with those. I'm sure somebody on this game would love to have UEF, but there is no UEF tech. Be able to produce Novaxes at this point would be very nice. Those cheap standoff tactic experimentals. Another Owasso about to finish up for my Emperor. Might be able to get some damage done with that, but he needs his team to get air. And was there another air fight, or has Dokel just balled up all of his ASF? There wasn't another one. He's up to 200. Gotchi Fingers up to 286, still a 100 ASF lead. And his grid is being rebuilt in a reasonable time. He does still have little struggles with power, but his team is definitely helping out in that regard. His team does have some T3 P-Gens now online. Southern Navy, which is all of the battleships down here standing off. There's something calming about just seeing battleship lines fire at each other. And Kim, he's trying his best to just push back Swatoslav. He wants to get a win down here. Owasso now done for my Emperor. And of course, ASF clouds are still going strong. Gotchi Fingers, how many is he up to? 323. He's still just focusing on that, not really getting too much air to ground or air to Navy firepower. Does have, I mean, I take that back. He has a ton of whalers. Gonna have to see if he can get anything done with those in the near future. But for some reason, Dokel, he's going in, but that's just a ton of SAMs. Dokel is just throwing away his ASF. Yeah, this fight is only ever going to go one way, and now this is just complete air dominance for Gotchi Fingers. Unless he messes up the air micro massively. I mean, it doesn't look too good right now. Air fights slowing down the game so much. But now Gotchi Fingers has massive lead. Owasso drops a bomb, gets 5.3 thousand kills, killed mass up there, and shuts down that situation. I'm guessing that was a snipe attempt down on one of these players in this pond, but it was just a very, very optimistic play, if we're honest. Gonna go ahead and take another drink of water. Gotta stay hydrated when you're yelling at a monitor. More like yelling at a microphone. And of course, all of these whalers coming in, I think it's a misplay to try and use whalers to win the Navy. Sure, fly over a couple of these battleships, kill off the lower health ones. But I think you have to go for something more valuable, and he is indeed doing that. He's going in towards the main base for Swadoslav, but wants to bring his own ASF around to try and protect these. And Swadoslav may just be in danger. He might just be able to right-click on that commander and kill it. And in comes all of the Whalers. Are the ASF that are out right now for Doquel enough? That commander is going to lose HP rapidly, and I think that Swadoslav is just going to go down here. And now it's going to be a 2 versus 3. And that's going to be a disaster, as that's the only remaining 2K rated player left for the Southern team. And he was doing so much work in this Southern Pond. You can see he's almost won it. He's got the battleship lead. He's got all of these Barracudas. He's got just such a nice setup down here. But that air misplay by Doquel is costing his team so much, and this game really has been hinging on which side has the better air player, and if they keep throwing back and forth between each other, who's better? Well, even a lot of T3 mechs is going down in that base. As in comes all of these Whalers, this time heading towards my Emperor, who has no AA in his base. He needs to start spamming up SAMs so quickly. My Emperor, I mean, his focus is down onto that comm, but that's never going to get anything. But my Emperor, seeing all of this going on and knowing that he has so much responsibility, now is the time for not just him, but Doquel as well. You spam SAMs everywhere. The only way you're losing this game is most likely through air. The enemy team is not proving capable of winning the navies. So you have this large buffer, you have such an economic lead on your opponent's team overall, up 500 or 400 mass a second in generation. You just have to stop their only chance at winning, and that is snipe, snipe, snipe city. And now, of course, these cruisers have gotten so much value. 26,000 mass kill, 21,000 mass kill, 18,000 mass kill. These cruisers are MVPs right now for the man, the myth, the legend, Emperor. The SCU dying in this Southern Pond had me scared. I missed a comm death. And is there anything spicy going on? Yelona Os on the way for Doquel. Let's go ahead and check all of the bases. My Emperor, he has a lot of mass. He's just going for a Wassa spam. On the other side, Robo-Gear, most likely to be able to... Well, no, not really anymore. Robo-Gear is just throwing everything into stopping this navy. Not seeing a Scathis or anything out of Gotchi. I think he's more focused on just continuing to use his air power. And over here in the south for Kim, his base is very light on structures. He's just focusing everything down here, and I think he's living off of Overflow. Yeah, he's just using Overflow for everything. He only has one T3 P-Gen. Might come to regret that if the grid of Gotchi Fingers gets attacked again. Overall ASF numbers, almost 300 for Gotchi. Doquel sitting on 171, so he just can't take an air fight unless it's defensive. And down here in the south, with the extra APM required, my Emperor has taken the situation, which was great, given to him from Swadoslav. He's kind of falling apart now. These Barracudas doing a lot of damage to his battleships. He has so many battleships, though. He's just trying to use them to defend over here. And now, of course, Whalers. They're coming out and they're in force. They're shutting down any attempt. Bless Emperor. Emperor is just constantly trying to get some kind of land play going, but it's not going to work. The Awasa, yet again, he just keeps dropping bombs here, but that shield's holding. Maybe hoping to get some of the TMD. And now Gotchi Fingers. He's kind of the guy with the most power in his hands. Especially with Dokel sending so much mass. I mean, just these engineers, he's sending somewhere in the range of 500, 600, or no, not quite. Let's see, 100, 200. He's sending like 300 mass a second into that, and that's 300 mass a second that he's not spending on air control. Overall, let's go ahead and check on these reclaim numbers. Robo here in the lead by double, 142,000 mass reclaimed. He's working up towards the cost of a Yelona or any of the game enders, but he just lost power. He's also relying on overflow, and Gachi himself is only overflowing enough for one of his two teammates that are leeching off him. And now, of course, Awasa over here, the Robo Gear being built. He knows his team has air control. Large wave of whalers coming over here, and we have an interesting situation as we're seeing the aircraft carriers out from My Emperor trying to chase down this air, but they're just so out of position. Honestly, you have to send them this way, and you have to get more built if you want to use these. But has he built any anti-air? Oh, I'm sorry, but 3 SAMs ain't gonna cut it. He needs to start building flak right now. Right now. Listen here, Gachi. You can see this, or not Gachi, My Emperor. You can now definitely see this. This is time for flak. You need flak, and a lot of it. Hell, T1 AA with all of these would be good too. Is he going to respond? He needs to respond. The whalers are going to try and kill off this island, giving him crucial seconds to throw all of his economy into it. But I think he might think that his aircraft carriers can get here in time. And the aircraft carriers are indeed going to do a great job of killing these off. But My Emperor, he's not even moving the comm underwater. That would save him too. He needs to take this seriously, but he's just not. Maybe he hasn't noticed it. Maybe he's too busy microing down here, but that's going to be a fatal error. And we now see Dokel halfway done with that Yelona Os, but will he be able to do anything? There's just going to be so much micro he's going to have to do if he ends up in a situation where he's 1 versus 3. The mass generation, while it is a huge lead of 600 mass a second, or 400 now, for the Southern team, may not be enough if they don't have the APM to use it. And now My Emperor, he's here. Here comes in all of the whalers. That shield goes down almost instantly, and so does My Emperor. Oh no, it's a disaster. They're falling apart. And now it's just Dokel versus the world. Dokel himself has built up an admirable amount of AA, 56 AA. Sure, some of that is going to be coming from his ally who just passed away, but this AA line will deal with all the whalers, and in fact, it may even give him an air advantage because all of these ASF coming in over the AA, and now the air fight taking place, these SAMs are going to get so much value. Gachi fingers, I think this is a huge misplay sending the ASF in. You got Emperor, you fall back. I don't know why you're still fighting here. Even if you win this air fight, you lose it when you run away. Nuke finished up now for Gachi fingers. And now it is Dokel versus the world. RoboGear has an Awasa done. I think that makes him up to 2 Awasas, or maybe that's the first one. Maybe he lost one. As you can see, he won the air fight. He won it convincingly, but he's gonna lose it on the run out of here. He's gonna lose so many ASF just flying away. This Southern Navy is now close to capitulating for Dokel, and I just don't think he has the APM or the necessary units here to hold this, but the northern side's still gonna be good for him. And he's now throwing how much? How much mass is he throwing towards this? These are all 24. So on screen, 28 times 24. Well, I currently have a YouTube chat, so somebody tell me how much mass he's throwing into that Yelona Os each second, and it's flying up in HP right now. 672 mass a second. That is insane. But he has 1.4 thousand to throw around. And I think the key here is you build Sam's like a madman once that Yelona's done, and then you just assist it and keep building everything. He's already built Volthus for days. Although, a little bit weird that he doesn't have air staging for them. Just throw a couple of air staging down to stop them from running out of fuel. And over here to the east, the battleships are trying valiantly to hold on, but they're just not going to last too much longer. The frigates coming in and the battleships out from Kim in the background firing in are going to be too much. Nano repair now on the way, 70%. He wants to make that comm as tanky as possible. I'm assuming advanced nano starts off right afterwards. And the Yelona Os is going to finish. Advanced nano repair, a little bit too pricey for him, it seems. He's now in a power stall. I mean, he's making 100,000 and he's stalling 7,000, so like he's not really even now that hindered. Just turned off his shields. And now the shields are going to come back online, and that one moment of vulnerability is gone. There's one Awasa done here. A second Awasa now finishing up for Robo Gear. It's a lot of whalers, but whalers are not going to get through. I mean, they know about the Yelona, don't they? They do. Yelona is now an issue. It's done. It's complete. They've won Navy after a 50-minute slog up against Finks and Finks and Swadoslav and Emperor. Now it's all falling apart. They're starting to push back even over here on the northern side, but that's going to be a long time before this becomes unentrenched. And I think if you're Dokel, you throw everything into ASF production and anti-nukes and just turtle up as hard as possible as the first Yelona shot is fired. And where is it going towards? It's going towards Robogear's frontal base, and that's not going to be loaded in time. There is no other possibility for an anti-nuke to save him, so we're going to watch a very, very pretty explosion here in a second. I guess his only hope right now is finish that Awasa before he loses all of the build power, and probably the Awasa to the Yelona. And that'll give him 3 Awasas, and he can maybe try and control K-Bomb on top of the base with the Yelona. But that'll be a hard ask with how much SAMs are going to be coming out, and I think the Yelona's coming in any second now, so we're just going to turn that off and watch a beautiful thing as a Seraphim massive missile kills off a Seraphim base. Seraphim on Seraphim violence, the best kind of violence. And that's a very dead base now for Robo Gear. And that Awasa made a very emergency exit out of that situation. He's got 3 Awasas, but how many SAMs just on screen right now? That's 77 SAMs. You can't come from this direction. This direction, 91. And if you come through the middle, still 47. Not to mention all the ASF kicking around now. And I think Dokel may even have an ASF lead. He's up to 141 versus Gotchi Fingers sitting on 240, so never mind, definitely not an air lead. Second Yelona shot has been fired. It's fired right here. This Gotchi Finger, that's not within range. Is this one loaded? It is not loaded. So Robo Gear is getting double Yelona'd. And we're going to see a very pretty explosion. We'll look on the minimap, see if anything's going on. The whalers in the front killing off that base, but I don't think that Dokel particularly cares about that base. Wasn't really providing him any value that he desperately needs. Got to keep an eye on those Awasas. They could come in at any moment. But we're going to go ahead and turn everything off as we watch the second Yelona fire. Second Yelona shot land. Nuke launching out for Gotchi Fingers. And where is that going? It's going over here into the base of formerly my Emperor. And let's go ahead and just get a thumbnail shot of this thing firing before we see if that nuke lands. Go ahead and fire it. Strategic launch detected.
Strategic launch detected.
And we can come over here. It's just Nuke City. There's no anti-nuke here. My Emperor died, and so did the anti-nuke that was over here. So this is going to land as well. Another Seraphim base going up in a nuke. And I think this Yelona shot might be going for the main base, but the anti-nuke here is loaded with 5, so it can eat 2 Yelonas. Maybe it's going right here. And I think Dokel, the 1500, is going to win up against the 1900 and a 2200, thanks to his allies being really good meat shields. There's still a chance for a snipe. That is a ton of nuke subs if Kim can keep power, but the big thing is, if this base goes down, all of the power for the southern team does. Oh, never mind, he's built up his own power grid. Okay. All of those nuke subs may be the only chance left. The anti-nukes, there's one there, it's not loaded. There's one there, it's not loaded. That one has 5. But critically, right here, I think there's only one anti-nuke that can stop anything from coming that way. In fact, if he gets a perfect lineup, he could possibly even avoid that one. More anti-nukes are needed, but does Dokel even know of this threat? No, he doesn't. So another Yelona shot coming out. This one's gonna land right here. It's... Oh no! No! The Mass Natha! Oh, what's he gonna get? In comes the Mass Natha. They're getting shot at by a lot of AA, but still plenty of them will make it through. The anti-nuke has been targeted, I think. But the air grid over here, Natha's coming in. I am become death, destroyer of air grids. And the anti-nuke goes down right before the nuke's gonna land. Oh no, it's a disaster for this northern team. Their air advantage may have just disappeared in the blink of an eye. And in comes the Yelona Oz shot. I mean, it's gonna kill all... Actually, that's not gonna kill too much, is it? Never mind, the rest of the air grid goes away too. And man, oh man, Dokel putting on a styling show today. And playing his heart out. These nuke subs are the last chance for the southern team to lose. But the issue is, I don't think Dokel has seen it. I don't think he knows. There's an they're saying throw up SMDs. He needs to get up a lot of them, and he has to get them loaded quick. But if anybody in this game still has the economy to do that, it's him. And we're now seeing a massive snipe opportunity forming. 32 strap bombers. Most games that'd be enough, but Dokel is a paranoid man. And just on this southern approach, that's 108 SAMs and more building. That will be a hard ask with all of the what am I trying to say? With all of the ASF as well. Where are the Awasas? They're all 3 here. More strap bombers coming out. Right now, Kim is the last hope. Any of these loaded? I don't know. Does he have power issues? He's living off overflow. All of the overflow in the team is going to him pretty much. RoboGear is almost out of the game for all intents and purposes. He's gonna load up onto a transport though. Oh no, never mind, that gets shot down. Oh no, he's not gonna be able to load his nukes if he loses all of his power. And he's gonna lose a lot of power right here. That Yelona is getting so much value. We're gonna have to check just how much mass it's killed. Yelona Os with 1 rank of veterancy, 274,000 mass killed. Gotta respect it, but now we see, I think the snipe is coming in. Robogear even sending his comm. Losses come in, they drop a bunch of bombs on their first pass, but they're going to continue to go. In come all the ASF. First Awasa goes down. Second Awasa taking a little bit longer to go down, but there's still so many SAMs. Third Awasa going down. All 3 Awasas go down. Huge air fight ensues, and of course, with all of these SAMs, Dokel wins it. But a lot of these nuke subs are now loaded. Oh no, Kim is gonna clutch it out for his team. He's power stalling. No, he's not. He has all the power in the world. Oh, but these nuke subs does... Dokel just doesn't know. He could have prevented it, but I don't think he's going to. Those 5 anti-nukes may be enough to save him for a short amount of time. No anti-nuke went down with the Awasa.
Strategic launch detected.
It's going right here. If the nuke subs move to the wrong spot, it could be big. I think he's waiting for all of them to get loaded. That might be a mistake. I think if he fires now, he might be able to get it. Robogear may die to this Awasa bomb. Or not the Awasa bomb, the Yelona bomb. Second rank of veterancy on the Yelona Os is something I just haven't seen in a while. Dokel has built an experimental. Wait, what did he build? And where? He's building chickens. This man's like, okay, I'll run across the map and kill you. Honestly, these torpedo bombers need to get out into this Navy right now. He needs to... These subs are just the only threat left to his existence. This is... I mean, I guess I'll keep showing them because they just keep landing everywhere. And it's gonna be a lot more power generators going down yet again. I think he's launching another nuke into the Navy over here, or maybe over here somewhere. And these torpedo bombers, I'm really hoping he finds the subs. I'm rooting for him. He's the underdog because he's outclassed by rating. But a telesnipe attempt out from Gotchi Finger. He's gotten the stealth up. Has anybody seen it, Dokel? They haven't seen it. Oh, but there is some TMD. That's a lot of shields to go through. Attack snipe coming out from Gotchi Fingers. The fact he doesn't have an Omni in this base is worrying. And has he found all of them? He's searching. Acting as if he's found them. All it takes is one of them to fly over. And he finds all of these nuke subs, and that is GG, barring this. But even if that happens, he may just be far enough ahead to continue to win this game. He's got a 400 mass-a-second lead. And he now has 3 SMDs built right here, a 4th on the way.
Strategic launch detected.
Another YOLO shot. He's going over here. He's trying to take out the power. So many torp bombers. He's killed off the megalith. Didn't even lose a chicken to do it because of all of the Volthus sitting around. This tac snipe is now the last chance other than the nuke subs. And the nuke subs have managed to be just sneaky enough not to die. But the nuke subs are now on a timer. This is going to be a very close kind of butt-clenching moment. If all 6 of these can protect, if these 2 can maybe get involved and a few of these get loaded, maybe there's a chance. But all of these torpedo bombers are just out here wiping the Navy in the southern pond. The double chicken over here. One of them has gone down. Might even kill its chicken brother. Yolona with 477,000 mass killed. Still targeting power. And now power is a major issue, I think, for all of the players on the northern team. Nobody is able to just, like, overflow to anyone. And the nuke subs are coming in. The plan Bs. Will they plan B enough? Torpedo bombers are bound to find them soon. A nuke lands over here, kills a bunch of air. He didn't turn off the missiles.
Strategic launch detected.
Strategic launch detected. It's the YOLO firing once again. All of these nuke subs, they're gonna come in. Missiles are now off. They should have been visible at some point. When are they gonna fire? This has to be you firing. It's an SCU. Wait, Gotchi Fingers won this game. The tac snipe worked! Oh no! He got it! Oh, don't kill! Oh no, I figured something would fly over it at some point, but no! It wasn't enough. GG. Thank you all so much for watching. You all are so beautiful. This has been a really fun cast back, and there's going to be more to come. And of course, like, subscribe, comment. I'll see you in the next one. This is Willow, signing off. Oh, thanks to the Patreons and channel members as well.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep.